Hey y'all, it's Rhegis from the MorrisMansionBlog.com. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about some of the DIYs I've done in my home over the past 5 years. Things that I regret and things that I wish I hadn't done. Some of these were trendy things. Some of these have just become a little more outdated. And then I want to share what I would do instead. So if you're interested to see some of my more DIY fails, then keep watching. So when we first moved into this house, it was June or May of 2020. So everyone was staying home. Everyone was starting to get on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram to connect and escape the realities of being stuck at home. And that's when most of us started doing DIY projects. And as things do, trends emerged, and you see a lot of things and a lot of people trying trends and viral hacks that they probably shouldn't. And so a lot of what I did to this house first was very trendy, and that was my first mistake, is that I went with more trendy design choices than more classic and timeless design choices. I won't say that shiplap is trendy. I think there are ways to make it very farmhouse, rustic, shabby chic, and that is what doesn't last. But there's also ways to modernize it, make it work for maybe organic modern, boho, classic, traditional. You can make shiplap work for any style and make it timeless. The key is to doing it properly. And I was suckered into doing cheap shiplap walls. Everyone at the time was trying to make, all of their walls shiplap to make it look like an old farmhouse. And I was right there with them. I wanted to do 2 accent walls in my living room. I only did one. My husband and I bought those big sheets of like 1/4-inch underlayment, and we ripped them down on our table saw, and I stuck them up around the fireplace and painted them white, and we added some really rustic looking industrial sconces. I loved it for a long time, but it really did get tired after probably, 2 or 3 years. I think also because it wasn't real shiplap. I just don't think it looked as good as the one in our dining room, because that is real shiplap, that is real tongue and groove. And I have added other shiplap walls in my home, but we used real tongue and groove boards. Those walls in my home I didn't get tired of. I have a little accent wall in a little like alcove in our downstairs area. And then there's one in my bathroom, and I love it. And I think if I ever want to change anything about them, I will just paint them. I don't see myself ripping them down at all. I wish I hadn't just jumped on the bandwagon of shiplap and had done something more trendy, like a classic picture frame molding or a board and batten or like a beadboard texture. I think those are all very classic. I could see this in a house from 100 years ago, and I could see this in this home in 100 years. I don't think that this will go out of style, and you can always paint it to change it. So that is what I would recommend doing instead. The next thing I regret is buying anything peel and stick. Before I did that shiplap wall in our living room, I really just wanted shiplap, the look of it above the fireplace. That was another really trendy thing. And I couldn't convince my husband that it would look good, or that, that it was worth the effort and the money. So I just got some wallpaper, some peel and stick wallpaper from Target. I think it was Magnolia Home, and it was just white shiplap. And then I hot glued some trim boards that we had in our scrap pile on either side. And I did really like that for a while, and it didn't take me long at all. But when I peeled it off so I could add the faux shiplap, it tore off a lot of the wall. And I knew that was going to happen. One, I put hot glue on, well, I didn't put it on the drywall. I put it on the peel and stick wallpaper. Some of it, you know, it leaked out when I pressed it on there. I should have caulked the seams. I should have just added it with like command strips or something. And then the peel and stick on the drywall, just peel and stick, just, it does not come off of anything you put it on, even if it's on a really sturdy surface. And I've just found that every time I see someone do it on a trending audio or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, I'm always tempted. You get sucked into that vortex of, wow, that looks really cool. I must have this. I have the perfect spot for this. I'm going to put this in my living room or my dining room or my bedroom or this little nook and make a reading nook, or I'm going to do an accent wall. And it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I regret so much doing any peel and stick products on the walls because they always just damage the walls. I definitely had to do lots of spackling and sanding, which is not fun. So just don't do it. But if you're like me and you have done it, fear not. I have a blog post, and I'll link that down below, all about if you have removed wallpaper and you're sick of it and you're trying to repair your walls after you have removed wallpaper, mostly the peel and stick kind. I have a blog post, and I'll link it down below on how to prep your walls to then be painted. But what I would do instead of the peel and stick wallpaper, I would just add normal wallpaper. There's a reason that 100 years ago, 200 years ago, they used just glue. The peel and stick option is not even easier to work with when you're putting it up because it's a giant sticker. So when you put it on the wall, you can't move it around the way that you can with a wallpaper that has an adhesive that you're waiting to dry. So when you add the glue and then you're trying to get it in the right area, you have some working time, whereas peel and stick, you stick it, and then if you peel it up, you're probably going to peel up the wallpaper or some of the drywall, and then if you peel it up, it's going to stretch every time you do that. Versus if you get a high quality wallpaper and you apply it with either, you can use a pre-pasted method if the wallpaper comes pre-pasted, or you can use the traditional method of using wallpaper glue. I have never done real wallpaper. My husband is very against wallpaper, although I hate to tell him that's what's going to go in here. But pre-pasted is also a great option. That is what this is. This is a beadboard wallpaper that comes, it's paintable, so I painted it. And what it is the adhesive is already on the back, and to activate it, you just get it wet. And I also have a blog post all about that. I probably need to update it because this has been on here for about 4 years. So if you want to see an updated video of hanging this, let me know, because there are definitely other places I want to use it, and I still have some left over. This is also so cheap. You can get it at Lowe's for like $22 to $25 a roll, and then just you paint it over it. So either the pre-pasted kind or the real traditional way of adding wallpaper is definitely better than peel and stick. Just stay away. Just put the peel and stick down, take it out of your cart. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. The next thing I wish I hadn't done is drawing on the walls. You can see behind me, this looks like wallpaper, and it's not. I painted the top part of the walls. They were a gray color, and I painted them this color. This is Snowbound by Sherwin-Williams. And I saw this wallpaper that someone used on Instagram, and it had this geometric pattern. And instead of using the wallpaper and, like I said, using another peel and stick product, I decided to just draw on my walls. And I also did this with adding what was trending in the day. It was called Sharpie Shiplap. And I was so proud of these walls. I did like a half wall with vertical shiplap in my kitchen. I did a shiplap wall in the bathroom, and then I did a subway tile in our laundry room. And it's just, I don't know, you can't tell from far away, but when you get up close, you can tell. And there were places where it didn't match up, or I didn't measure right, or like when I was dragging it along, the straight edge that I was using, it's just not professional. It was fun to do, but it's gonna take a lot of coats of paint to paint over, and I wish I hadn't done it. So eventually this will be either a mural or wallpaper up here. So I have plans to cover it. Instead, just paint your wall. When I painted over the walls in the bathroom, I thought they were all covered in a couple of coats. And then I realized one time when I was in there that you could still plain as day see those black lines. I had to do another whole coat of paint on the whole bathroom. And so it's an easy way to fix it, but just painting a room, it is so much better than doing this. And I've painted over all of them, but this one, I found the perfect wallpaper. It's just expensive, and so I have to save up. No Sharpies on the wall, just use paint or wallpaper instead. My next DIY that I regret is using spray paint in certain areas that are just not going to last. I am a big proponent for using spray paint on things like hardware on a dresser. I tried it on a faucet one time. I've tried it on wooden chairs. And the thing I regret is spray painting things that are used all the time. I spray painted my kitchen hardware, and you can tell the ones that we open all the time versus the ones that never get opened. The cabinets that are way high up, the one above the fridge, and like the drawer under the oven, they never, ever hardly get touched. Or like our silverware drawer, the 3 cabinets that have like all of our dishes, I have spray painted them a couple of times, and then I have also put rub and buff on them. So whether it's rub and buff, spray paint, I just think altering those with anything other than another hardware, but like real hardware versus spray paint, is going to be a better option. I wouldn't recommend getting cheap hardware, but if you like need something quick and in a fix, Amazon is great to buy bulk things, and that's, to me, is better than keeping your good hardware that's spray painted, because I had these nickel ones and I've spray painted them black and then gold, and then I have touched up the gold, and they just, you can tell they've gotten down to almost the bare nickel again, and they just don't last. It doesn't look good, and I don't regret doing it, but I wouldn't do it in the future. Instead, I would just save your pennies and buy things of quality. Change out your faucets with something that is budget friendly but not cheap. And if you find something that you really, really like, save up for it. Ask for it for a birthday present or a Christmas present. I asked for a faucet for my 30th birthday, and it's still the one that's in the bathroom because I wanted a black faucet, and it's high quality and has lasted, versus if I had spray painted that one, it would have already been trash within like a month. So a same thing with your hardware, your kitchen hardware. Everyone sees it, everyone uses it. It's worth saving up and getting all of it at once and replacing it with something that you love. I will say I tried to order my new hardware in batches from Amazon, and the color variation was that there was a lot of color variation versus if you order it all at once. So save up to buy something of quality, or look online, look at thrift stores, look at eBay. Those are great places to find antique hardware that is quality but less expensive than buying new. And the last thing that I regret is buying things that are cheap. I'm talking cheap faucets, cheap furniture, cheap pillowcases or cheap curtains. So again, what I suggest doing instead is buying secondhand. You can buy secondhand furniture that's real wood for much cheaper than buying it new. Save up to buy those quality curtains, that quality furniture. Don't buy the $30 bookshelf. Maybe try and find one that is secondhand and wooden, because not only do the things not last, they look cheap. And so when you have something that looks cheap in your space, it cheapens the whole room and the whole house. So save up your pennies and buy something that is more quality. And again, secondhand, restores, thrift stores, eBay, antique stores, estate sales are all some of my favorite places to buy furniture, cabinetry, faucets, blinds, everything for your home, especially if you're on a budget. So those are my more worse DIYs, trends that didn't pan out, that I regret doing, and the solutions to fix them. And I hope this helped and inspired you. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by the mansion, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.